Alex Eala's career is in danger, and the leaked audio from the raid just changed everything. A single clip, 42 seconds long, has shattered the calm of the tennis world. In that recording, a trembling voice whispers words no athlete should ever say. "You don't understand. They told me to do this." Was it fear? Was it guilt? Or was it something darker, something she couldn't control? Officials are silent, her team has vanished, and fans are demanding answers. The empire she built with discipline and grace now trembles on the edge of collapse. And this time, no victory can save her. For years, Alex Eala's name stood for promise, a symbol of discipline, determination, and the soft power of youth rising against the giants of tennis. From the humid courts of Manila to the floodlights of Osaka, she carried her country's pride on her shoulders. Every match, every serve, every victory marked not just her growth, but a nation's dream. But behind her focused stare and calculated precision, something fragile had begun to crack. Those who trained beside her often said she was different, not just talented, but obsessed. She practiced until the courts emptied, until the lights dimmed, until her knuckles bruised from holding the racket too long. To her, rest was weakness. Her coach once whispered, "Alex doesn't chase trophies. She chases control." And for a while it worked. Her rankings soared, her endorsements multiplied, and her smile, that unshakable calm, became a brand of its own. But in sports, perfection is a currency that runs out quickly. The pressure of the WTA circuit was relentless. Each week brought new faces, new rivals, and new whispers. The louder the applause, the heavier the silence after. By the time she arrived in Osaka for the Asian Open, EALA wasn't just a competitor. She was a symbol, the young face of a new generation trying to prove that Southeast Asia could produce a world champion. But symbols, like people, can break. Those closest to her began noticing strange shifts in her behavior. Her messages turned short, her laughter forced. In practice, she argued with her coaches more than usual, often redoing drills in secret after everyone had left. During interviews, she smiled, but her eyes, always clear and confident, now carried the flicker of fatigue. A local journalist wrote, "EALA plays like someone running from something." No one knew then how true those words would become. The night before her quarterfinal match, witnesses recall seeing Alex still practicing long after the stadium had emptied. The air was heavy with rain, yet she continued, drenched, her movements sharper, angrier. A staff member later said she kept repeating the same serve, muttering something under her breath. "They can't take this away." At the time, no one understood what she meant. By dawn, that phrase would feel like a prophecy. Whispers began to spread among the officials about routine inspections being prepared for select players. A new policy, they claimed, to ensure fairness and compliance. But something about it felt targeted, especially when EALA's name appeared first on that list. Her camp was tight-lipped. Her agent refused to comment. Still, tennis is a small world. Secrets don't stay buried for long. By morning, reporters were already hinting at an upcoming locker room review. The tension was invisible to the fans, but palpable to everyone behind the scenes. Yet, Alex walked into the stadium that morning with the same calm she had always shown. No one could tell that her phone had been buzzing non-stop since midnight. Unknown numbers, deleted messages, a single voicemail she refused to play. Her coach asked if she was okay. She nodded once and said, "Let's just get through today." No one imagined that today would change everything. Hours before the match, as she laced her shoes and adjusted her wristband, tournament officials entered the locker room unannounced. A soft knock, then the sound of paper being unfolded. Routine inspection. Those two words echoed like thunder. What began as a calm morning of focus would turn into a scene none of them could forget. But that moment, that knock, wasn't the true beginning. It was just the spark that ignited everything she had been trying to bury for months. The late-night calls, the secret meetings, the anxiety that had grown louder than the cheers. All of it was about to come crashing down. Because in the world of professional tennis, it only takes one moment, one accusation, one recording, to destroy everything you've built. And as Alex sat there clutching her racket, staring at the door, she must have known. This was the storm she'd been running from. The calm was over. And the raid was about to begin. The knock on the locker room door came just as Alex tightened her wristband. 3 sharp raps, deliberate, official, uninvited. The kind of knock that doesn't ask for permission. It declares authority. Inside, the air shifted instantly. Her coach froze mid-sentence. Her physio dropped the towel in his hands, and Alex looked up with that same unblinking stare she used before match point. 2 men in black jackets entered, tournament agents. Behind them, a senior official, clipboard in hand, his tone calm but cold. "Miss Eala, this will only take a few minutes," he said. "Routine inspection." Those 2 words again. But this time there was no pretense of normality. The officials spread out, checking bags, bottles, even the grips of her rackets. They spoke quietly among themselves, jotting notes, photographing items. Alex didn't say a word. She just watched. "Is this about doping?" her coach finally asked. No answer. Just another clipboard flipped. Then one of them opened a small silver case and began scanning her locker with a handheld device. It beeped once, a sound so faint, but in that silence, it might as well have been thunder. Her coach took a step forward, but Alex stopped him with a shake of her head. Whatever this was, she wanted to face it herself. Minutes felt like hours. Then the senior official turned toward her with a look that wasn't just procedural. It was personal. "We've received information suggesting possible rule violations," he said carefully. "What kind of information?" she asked, her voice steady. He didn't answer. He simply handed her a sealed envelope stamped with the tournament's insignia. Inside was a single typed page. Words she would never forget. Subject of active internal review. She exhaled slowly, almost too calmly, as if she had been waiting for this. Her coach, panicking, demanded clarification, but the officials had already turned toward the exit. The entire inspection lasted less than 12 minutes, yet by the time they left, it had rewritten her entire tournament. Word spread fast. Within an hour, whispers began swirling through Osaka's press rooms. EALA'S locker inspected, equipment confiscated, possible suspension. By the time she stepped onto the court that afternoon, every camera was fixed not on her serve, but on her face. What no one realized was that something far more dangerous than the inspection itself had just occurred. A phone had been recording. A staffer, hidden behind the row of lockers, had captured the entire exchange. The tension, the voices, the small metallic beep, all of it. And that recording, though not yet public, was already circulating privately among insiders. In it there was a faint moment, easy to miss, when a female voice, trembling, said, "You don't understand. They told me to do this." No one could confirm who said it, but the assumption was enough to ignite chaos. Back in the players' lounge, Alex sat in silence. Her phone buzzed constantly. Messages from journalists, fellow players, even old rivals. She ignored them all. Her mind replayed every decision from the past few weeks. The late-night meeting with her sponsor's representative, the strange new tech device she was asked to test, the encrypted email she deleted. Could this all be connected? Or was it just a coincidence? A cruel twist of timing that painted her as the villain? Her agent arrived hours later, visibly shaken. "The footage is spreading internally," he said quietly. "Someone's trying to make you look guilty." Alex looked up, eyes glassy but sharp. "Then let them. The truth doesn't need defending." But deep down, she wasn't sure she believed her own words anymore. That night, she played her match and lost in straight sets. Not because she was outplayed, but because her mind was somewhere else. Every time the crowd cheered, she flinched. Every time a camera clicked, she wondered who was watching for evidence, not talent. When the match ended, she shook her opponent's hand, bowed to the crowd, and left the court without a smile. Back in her hotel, the silence was suffocating. Her phone lit up again, an unknown number. When she pressed play, she heard her own voice. "You don't understand. They told me to do this." Her hands went cold. The leak had begun. In that moment, the game stopped being about tennis. It became a battle of survival, truth, and trust, a fight against the very system that had built her. And as the storm outside pounded against her window, Alex Eala realized the real match had just begun. The morning after the match, Osaka woke to chaos. What began as a whisper in private chat groups had erupted into a storm across every sports network. Leaked audio from EALA'S tennis world. It was everywhere, from trending hashtags to primetime headlines. The clip was only 42 seconds long, but its impact was nuclear. A muffled conversation. The sound of shuffling papers. Then the line that froze everyone. "You don't understand. They told me to do this." No one could see who said it. No face, no proof, only a voice trembling under pressure. But to the public, it didn't matter. In the age of instant outrage, accusation was enough. Within hours, the Women's Tennis Federation announced an emergency internal meeting. Sponsors suspended their campaigns. The same brands that once flaunted her smile now scrubbed her image from social media. The silence from her team was louder than any denial. Her coach's phone went straight to voicemail. Her physio checked out of the hotel. Even her agent, the one who swore he'd handle the crisis, had fled Osaka on the first flight out. Alone in her room, Alex sat by the window, watching reporters swarm the entrance below. Camera flashes pierced through the morning fog. News vans lined the street. She hadn't slept. The leaked audio played in her head again and again, taunting her with every repetition. She tried to convince herself it wasn't her voice, that maybe the audio was doctored, edited, twisted. But she knew the rhythm, the breath between words. It was hers. The only question left was why she had said it. Her mind spun through the memories. The night before the inspection, the warning messages she deleted, the voice on the other end of the encrypted call that told her, "Just cooperate when they ask. It's already done." She never asked who they were. Maybe she was afraid to know. By noon, the tennis world had turned on her. Commentators who once praised her mental steel now called her compromised. Old interviews resurfaced. Every word she had ever spoken was being dissected for signs of deceit. Even former rivals joined the conversation, some out of sympathy, others out of schadenfreude. One anonymous player told a reporter, "Everyone knew something was off with her lately." Maybe this explains it, but not everyone believed the narrative. A small circle of loyal fans began pushing back online, claiming the leak was a setup. They pointed out inconsistencies, the mismatched audio levels, the missing context, the abrupt end. "Where's the rest of the recording?" one tweet asked. "Why release only 42 seconds? It was a fair question, but the outrage machine had already moved past logic. That evening, a new statement dropped, not from Eala, but from the Tournament Ethics Board. They confirmed that the inspection was part of a targeted integrity review based on external intelligence. They didn't name their source. They didn't need to. To the public, that was confirmation enough. Alex watched the press conference live from her hotel room, her hands trembling. Each phrase, inquiry, alleged misconduct, evidence under verification, chipped away at what was left of her career. When the chairman concluded, "Until the matter is resolved, Miss Eala's active participation is suspended," she didn't cry. She just stared at the screen in silence, as if the world had stopped speaking her language. Then a knock at the door. Not the same as before, softer this time, hesitant. She opened it to find a young journalist standing there, rain dripping from his hair. "I'm not here for a headline," he said quietly. "I'm here because I think you're being set up." He handed her a small flash drive. "Listen to this before they erase it." When she plugged it into her laptop, a new version of the leaked audio played, the unedited version. Same voice, same tremor. But this time there were more words. "You don't understand. They told me to do this. Or they'd ruin everything." Her breath caught. That last part had been cut from the viral clip. The leak wasn't truth. It was manipulation. Someone had trimmed the evidence to destroy her and make her silence look like guilt. For the first time in days, her fear turned into anger. She stood by the window, watching the city lights flicker below. "They want to play games," she whispered. "Then I'll give them one." The next morning, Alex Eala packed her bags and left Osaka quietly. No press, no statement, no farewell. The tennis world thought she was finished. But as she disappeared into the fog, that flash drive still in her pocket, one thing became clear. The real story hadn't been told yet, and somewhere out there, the people who framed her were about to find out. Alex Eala wasn't done fighting. For 3 days, Alex Eala vanished. No appearances, no posts, no statements, only silence. The world searched for her, but she had slipped off the grid completely. News anchors speculated she'd gone into hiding. Fans worried she'd quit tennis for good. But Alex wasn't running, she was preparing. Somewhere deep in Kyoto, in a small, quiet inn far from the flashing lights, she replayed the unedited audio again and again. The flash drive from the young journalist had become her lifeline. Every second of that file told a story, not of guilt, but of coercion. Someone had forced her hand, manipulated her every move, and when the moment was right, cut her words to sound like confession. She began connecting the dots. The encrypted emails, the mysterious tech demo her sponsor had insisted she test, the inspection that felt prearranged, it all pointed to something bigger than a single-player scandal. Someone inside the system had set her up, and whoever it was had the power to control what the public saw. She called the only person she still trusted, her childhood friend, now a digital forensics analyst. When he examined the file's metadata, his tone changed immediately. "Alex, this wasn't leaked by a journalist. It came from a WTA internal server." The revelation hit her like a serve to the chest. The enemy wasn't outside the organization, it was within. Meanwhile, in the outside world, the chaos grew. Sponsors officially dropped her. The WTA froze her ranking. Talk shows debated her fall from grace. Even other players were pressured to comment. Some defended her. Most stayed silent. But silence, Alex realized, could be a weapon too. While everyone thought she was broken, she was gathering proof. Her friend traced the leak's upload to a secure internal account belonging to someone she knew, one of the same officials who had led the routine inspection in Osaka. It was all starting to make sense. The inspection, the recording, the selective leak. It wasn't about catching her. It was about using her name to cover up something much larger. Rumors had long whispered of betting syndicates creeping into women's tennis, fixing small matches, manipulating rankings quietly. Maybe Alex had stumbled too close to the truth, and that made her dangerous. That night, she drafted a single message and sent it to her remaining sponsors, the WTA board, and 3 international journalists. "I have evidence proving the leaked audio was edited from an internal source. If they silence me again, the full file goes public. No greetings, no signature. Just that." Then she turned off her phone and stared out at the Kyoto skyline. For the first time since Osaka, she felt something close to peace. The fear was gone. The waiting was over, because now Alex Eala wasn't just defending her name. She was declaring war on the people who tried to erase it. The morning after Alex's message went out, the world of tennis trembled again. 3 journalists received her email, and within hours, whispers began leaking into newsrooms. But instead of backing off, the organization hit back harder. The WTA issued an official statement labeling the unverified claims as fabrications meant to distract from the ongoing investigation. They accused Alex of spreading misleading digital materials, and within the same hour, her name was quietly removed from the upcoming tournament rosters. To the public, it looked like a meltdown, a desperate player fighting back with conspiracy theories. But those who knew how power worked saw something else, a full-scale cover-up. Alex stayed silent, letting them play their move first. From her safe house in Kyoto, she and her friend, the digital analyst, combed deeper into the leaked file's origin. The data trail led to a restricted server labeled Integrity Compliance Division. Buried inside were fragments of other recordings, unnamed players, Muffled conversations, some clearly spliced. This wasn't an isolated attack. It was a pattern. Someone had been selectively editing recordings to destroy reputations, one player at a time. And now Alex had the proof, but the deeper they dug, the riskier it became. Her friend's system was hit by remote intrusion attempts twice in 24 hours. His encrypted messages were intercepted. Then, at midnight, a message appeared on Alex's hotel television screen. Not a channel, but a black screen with white letters. Stop looking. The message vanished in seconds, but the meaning was clear. They knew where she was. By dawn, the local press began reporting that Alex had fled under investigation. Anonymous officials hinted she was, avoiding questioning. It was the perfect spin, painting her as a fugitive rather than a whistleblower. Still, she didn't run. She prepared. She had one plan left, to go public with everything. But not through traditional media. She would speak directly to her fans. That night, under the soft flicker of her laptop screen, she recorded a video. No makeup, no lights, no PR polish. Just Alex Eala, unfiltered. "I've been accused of things I didn't do," she began, voice steady but heavy with exhaustion. "But what they don't want you to know is that the system itself is broken. The recording that destroyed my career, it wasn't real. It was edited, made to make me look guilty. And I'm not the first." She paused, breathing slowly. "I love tennis. But if this is what it's become, lies, manipulation, silence, then someone needs to stand up." She ended the video with one line that would echo across the world. "You can take my matches, but not my truth." The clip went live at midnight. Within 6 hours, it had over 10 million views. Fans rallied. Players began questioning the investigation. Sponsors hesitated to cut ties completely. But for every supporter, a new threat emerged. The next morning, Alex's video was taken down for legal reasons. Her social accounts were locked. Then came a chilling message from an anonymous email. "You've made your move. Now it's ours." Alex knew what that meant. This wasn't just about clearing her name anymore. It was about survival. And as she packed her bag once more, ready to leave Kyoto behind, she understood one thing. The fight had only just begun. 3 weeks later, the world woke to an explosion of truth. A hacker collective calling itself Serve Justice released over 100 gigabytes of internal WTA files, including the unedited recordings Alex had uncovered. Among them was the original version of the Osaka inspection audio. Complete, untouched and damning, it proved beyond any doubt that the viral clip was doctored. Alex's words had been cut to fit a narrative. The officials who conducted the inspection were caught on tape discussing containing the optics and keeping her quiet until this blows over. In seconds, the narrative flipped. The same journalists who'd condemned her now scrambled to retract their stories. Sports networks played the raw audio in stunned disbelief. And fans, furious at the betrayal, flooded social media demanding justice. "Apologize to Eala" trended worldwide, but Alex wasn't celebrating. She knew this level of exposure came with consequences. If the hackers had access to the WTA's internal servers, they also had access to everything: contracts, financials, private communications. And with that kind of chaos, real reform could get buried under politics and panic. Her phone buzzed. The journalist who'd first helped her. "They're panicking," he said. "2 officials have already resigned. But there's talk of a deeper cover-up. They'll sacrifice a few names to protect the core." Alex clenched her jaw. "Not this time." She agreed to a live interview, her first public appearance since the raid. When the broadcast began, millions tuned in. She didn't cry, didn't accuse, didn't dramatize. She simply spoke truth. "I wasn't the only one," she said softly. "There are others, players who lost their careers, who never got the chance to defend themselves. The system didn't fail by accident. It was designed that way." Then she dropped the final bombshell. The files from Integrity Compliance Division were never meant to protect players. They were used to control them. Silence those who questioned sponsorship deals, prize allocations, or match schedules that favored certain investors. The world erupted. Tournaments were suspended. Investigations launched. And for the first time in years, the WTA's power was questioned at the highest level. That night, as Alex sat on her balcony overlooking the city lights, she felt something she hadn't felt in months. Peace. Not because the war was over, but because the truth was finally free. Her phone buzzed again, an email from an unknown sender. It contained just one line. "They're not done yet." Alex smiled faintly. Neither am I, because now this wasn't just about tennis. It was about taking back her voice and burning down the system that tried to steal it. The truth is out, but this fight is far from over. Alex Eala's story isn't just about one athlete. It's about every player silenced by power, fear, and corruption. If you believe in fairness, in integrity, and in giving every voice a chance to be heard, now is the time to stand up. Share her story. Demand transparency. Question every system that hides behind official statements. Because silence protects the guilty, and exposure empowers the innocent. Support the players. Support the truth. The court of justice isn't in the arena. It's in the hands of the people who refuse to look away. This is more than a scandal. It's a movement. And your voice could be the one that changes everything.